Hey, everybody, it's your old pal, Chuck. I was just doing a podcast. I was zooming in, and I had all my stuff set up, so I said, let's just record this plug. This is the last plug that you'll have to hear for the first Funbearable live show in the tri-state area, which is coming up this Friday, March 31st, at Smodcastle Cinemas in Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey. The Funbearable boys are coming for a very special event. We are doing Clerks, Bradley drawn. We're taking the original movie Clerks. Our buddy Brad is redrawing every single scene from the movie in his terrible signature art style, and I'm writing a brand new narration for the film based on his drawings. And joining us live on stage is our good friend Brian O'Halloran, reprising his role as Dante Hicks from the movie Clerks. It's going to be an awesome night. We're all going to come out together, Brad, myself, and Ray. Ray's going to do a bunch of stand-up. We're going to do the live Clerks Bradley drawn show, and then Ray's going to come back up with all of us, and we're going to do a big Q&A to close out the night. And it's going to be a really fun double feature at Smodcastle that night, because right afterwards, they're showing the Impractical Jokers movie with my buddy Brian Quinn from Impractical Jokers, doing a Q&A with Kevin Smith afterwards. That show is sold out. Our show is selling. It seems like there's going to be a healthy audience. I'm really thankful for people coming out, but we'd love to get as many people there as possible. So go to funbearablepod.com to buy tickets if you're in the tri-state area, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York. Hell yeah, if you're from Rhode Island, drive in and see it. It's worth it. It is going to be worth it. If you're thinking about coming, if you're back and forth, we're not like a typical comedy thing where it's like, yeah, we'll be back around soon. We do shows every weekend. If you really want to see us, you'll see us. We do shows pretty rarely because I focus a lot on video projects. Ray's doing stand-up all the time. Brad has a lot of improv stuff. So it's rare that we get to do this kind of live stuff. And this is going to be a really special one. Last time we did this live Clerk show, we only did it once, and it was maybe 3 or 4 years ago at Rhode Island Comic-Con. So who knows if it's ever going to happen again. The Funbearable boys with Brian O'Halloran live on stage. Clerks, Bradley drawn this Friday, March 31st in New Jersey at Kevin's Cinema, Smodcastle Cinema. So buy those tickets. Please come on out. Funbearablepod.com. We're going to have a lot of fun. And this is a very fun episode. We've been excited for this episode to drop since we recorded it because we have a little bit of interaction with the audience, and that's really, really fun for us. So, yeah, can't wait to see everybody this Friday. It's going to be a hell of a weekend. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for buying all the Manscaped stuff. That seems to be going well, too. Thank you for listening. Love you.
We were going to do banter.
Well, with that kind of breezy attitude, I think banter is absolutely on the tip.
Let me have a sip of these beans.
Yeah, in the words of Brad, somebody stop me. Yeah, Brad's like the Mask.
Yeah.
I'm like Mask, not the
Oh,
Mask.
yeah. You can go anywhere you want now. I love that movie.
Reference to Rocky Dennis.
I really love that movie.
I never watched the whole
Genuinely.
movie. I just
no?
think of it as like a funny
Oh,
thing.
you don't know how it ended?
No.
So
I'm
you're
sure
like,
he's
so he
dead.
lived like a happy life, right?
Yeah.
Everything's great?
I'm sure he died.
He did. That movie was like, I watched that at like the perfect time.
Yes.
Like, in terms of how old I was.
Yes.
I loved that movie.
Yeah.
And it didn't hurt that Cher is dating. Oh man.
Oh,
my brain.
Marty McFly's original actor? Is that the guy?
Eric
No,
Idle?
no, that's the
who
son.
plays Rocky Dennis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cher plays his mom.
Right.
And she does a great job. Cher was a great actress.
Yeah, Cher is clearly like super talented. It's just
Yeah.
a different era than we're used to.
I remember right when COVID was starting to shift and we got our jabs. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the government invaded my body.
My bowels.
My bowels and my body. How did you get it?
Yes.
How did you get the shot?
A guy took me in an alley and
Yeah. He said, this is going to hurt.
he said, "This is gonna." He bent me over.
Yeah. It was at a military base.
Yeah.
And but no, I got together with Lee. We were both like, we haven't gone anywhere. We haven't seen anybody. And we got an Airbnb in the city. he lives in the city, but he lives in a studio apartment, and we're not doing that. So we were staying at this really nice place with like a pool table. They had the outside terrace. It was wonderful.
Yep.
And we ended up watching. He had never seen a bunch of the Fast and the Furious movies, so we watched those.
Yeah.
But we were stumbling through like the cable network that they have, and the Witches of Eastwick.
Yeah, I've never
was
watched that
on.
either. I never watched that.
I've never seen it.
So we started watching it, and it was like midway through. I'm like, oh, this is actually good, the scene that we were watching. So we looked it up, and we watched it on a streaming service. It must have been on Amazon or something. And I had never seen the movie as an adult. I only knew like little bits and pieces of it as a kid.
Sure.
It's fucking great. Like, it's a
never seen
really
it.
good movie.
I've never seen it either. We should watch it this Halloween.
Yep.
Yeah, Witches of Eastwick, like Nicholson's doing a fantastic job, but it's 3 powerhouse actresses like nailing it. You know what I mean? Susan Sarandon, Cher, and then Catwoman, the original
Michelle Pfeiffer?
Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah, it's the 3 of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's very good. Like
Yeah.
like the writing felt pretty fresh for now.
Right.
And I loved the movie, so it was really good. It was a real
great.
surprise. I don't know how we got here, but it was fun to watch.
Opening banter.
Add it to our All Hallows Eve spreadsheet.
He just immediately picked up his phone. He's like, "Let me do it. Let me do it. Let's see. I've got. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah. I had to go past my Father's Day and Mother's Day.
Here's what's going to happen. On October 1st, Chuck is going to say, what was that movie that we were supposed to watch? And I told you to put it on the All Hallows Eve spreadsheet.
What was it? The Bitches of Warwick or something like that? What was it?
Oh, believe you me, I've experienced the bitches of Warwick.
That's me. I live in Warwick. I'm a bitch. I'm a bitch. I'm a lover. I'm a child. I am a mother.
It was one of the names we were kicking around for the podcast.
Yeah,
But I'm like,
yeah.
only you live in Warwick.
I know, yeah.
Welcome.
You guys can move.
The Bitch of Warwick and Other Bitches by Ray Harrington.
Welcome to another episode of Funbearable.
We did the banter.
Yeah, we did banter.
This episode
Warwick and
has to
Other
start
Bitches.
with you going, I thought we'd do banter.
Looking around.
Yeah.
The idea of the bitches of Warwick and the bitch of Warwick and other
Yeah. In brackets, and other bitches.
There's a band name, and I always loved it. I don't know anything about the band, but their band name was Witches with Dicks. And isn't that so good?
Yeah. Yeah.
So funny.
I like it because it makes me think of like when I draw a blank on a name.
Yeah.
Which happens, it's been happening more lately. Maybe I'm getting old. I don't know.
Possibly.
I think it's just sleep
Yeah,
deprivation.
also possible.
Yeah. And so I'll be like, oh, you know who it was, the person. And I did just now,
With
where I was
Michelle
like,
Pfeiffer, yeah.
Catwoman.
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
That's like me trying to, like, I can't think of warlocks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Witches with dicks.
Yeah. I
Oh.
love Witches with Dicks.
Warlock. No, wizards. That was originally going to be the name of the Harry Potter series.
Yeah.
Witches with a dick. Yeah.
So we're gonna do an episode where we go through some of our listener mail, which we did before as a bonus episode.
Yeah.
But we're in full film mode.
Yeah, bonus.
Or as we call it the episodes where we film Spielberg mode.
yeah.
And the audio onlys, share mode.
What?
I don't know. Like you said, share. She's an audio. Who's a good audio only thing to something?
Ira
mode?
Glass.
Glass mode.
Glass mode.
I'd watch that.
Shatterpoint. Glass mode.
Shatterpoint glass mode.
Shatterpoint.
That's
Shatterpoint is good.
That's Ira Glass's late career change to action hero status.
I'm Ira Glass. This is me rescuing you. In a world where people are kidnapped, in a world where heroes are needed, that's where I come in.
Dude.
I'm Ira Glass. This is Shatterpoint.
Welcome to Shatterpoint.
I'll say this because someone recently was like, "Oh, I love when you guys talk about pop culture stuff." So I'll bring this up. I just watched Neal Brennan's new special, Blocks,
Yeah.
which I think came out in the fall or maybe even like November, December. I guess November is fall.
Yeah.
But man, excellent special. I couldn't believe how good it was.
November is more like foreplay for winter.
That's what I say. I know.
You say that exact thing?
I say winter foreplay, which is close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but he has a whole bit about.
I thought that's just fucking with mittens.
He has a whole bit about the humans' relationships with dogs, and he basically says that like
Oh man, I wish I don't want to fuck it up, but it's funny.
You're
Anyway,
gonna fuck it up.
he talks about he's like, you know, people who love Marley and Me. He's like, you know what Marley and Me is to a dog? It's Taken, but Liam Neeson never shows up.
Yeah, that's fun.
And
I
he has
like
a
that,
thing.
yeah.
He goes, you know, women that say like, I'm a dog mom. You know who was also a dog mom? That dog's mom. And like, it's about how whenever you have a dog, you're taking an orphan. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
But the whole special is kind of mostly hinged on the fact that he doesn't feel like he has a place in society, and he feels like an outsider everywhere, and about his depression and the things that he basically, the way he naturally is.
I hate when comedy people talk about their inner struggle with feeling out of place or depression and blah blah. We get it.
Yeah.
So he,
do some more puppet jokes, Dunham.
Wait,
Thank
you mean, wait, is Dunham or Brennan? Because Dunham does enough.
No, we want more.
Now's the segment where we explain the joke. Da-da-da-da.
You want more? Jeff Dunham doesn't do enough puppet jokes. It's so
Jeff
funny.
Dunham is too left leaning.
Yes.
I want puppets that say it like it is.
I think Jeff Dunham does too much non-puppet humor.
Yeah.
He's up to 5%.
Which reminds me of my new character I'm working on, Joff Dunham. Geoff
I was
Dunham.
gonna go with Dun Jeffem, but
Oh, I done Jeff him.
I Dun Jeffem good. But the Neal Brennan special, yeah, it's excellent. I just watched the other day, and I loved Three Mics, which we watched
Yes.
a long time ago.
That was good.
And Ray hasn't watched that yet.
Yeah.
It's funny when we were talking about it the other day. I was like, let me look it up on Rotten Tomatoes. I wonder what people are saying about it. It has 100% critic score after been out for 5 years.
Wow.
which is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, watch Blocks by Neal Brennan. It's really, really high concept.
And to be fair, I haven't watched it because it's nothing with Neal Brennan.
Yeah, stand up
You
and
guys
comedy.
know this. Like, I don't watch a lot of specials. I
know.
It's not that I avoid them.
Yeah.
I'm never in the mood to watch a stand-up special.
It's tough.
because I'm around stand-up so much.
Yeah.
It would feel weird to be at a comedy show.
Yeah.
Do 2 shows at a club.
Yeah.
And then go home and be like, I'm gonna watch stand-up. You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah,
also
yeah.
watching it. It's getting me in that headspace, and I'm like, I don't, you know what I mean? I just want to hang out.
Yeah,
totally.
So it takes a lot for me to be like, I want to check out that special. If I'm in like a real mood to watch one,
Yeah.
that's great. I do watch a lot of like slightly aside specials.
Yeah.
Stuff that's doing something a little different, but it's in that wheelhouse.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I saw that and it was great. And I actually
Yeah.
went to go see Mike Birbiglia as the old man in the pool on Broadway, which was his Broadway show. I think he did 45 performances. And it was,
How many did you see?
I saw just the one. And it was, I think it's his funniest
So you're
special.
not a real fan.
I think it's his funniest special, like in terms of joke density.
Yeah.
But both of them are killer. I don't know what he's going to do in terms of filming it and putting it out, but I bet it's going to be on Netflix as well.
You know how like
so.
real music fans will like somebody who's like real into something, they'll like go to a whole bunch of shows on a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fish. Jordan just went to go see Fish
like
one time.
Fish. That happens a lot with the jam bands. But
Yep.
there are also people that are like, I saw Harry Styles 14 times.
Oh, yeah,
'cause
yeah,
He was doing
for
20
sure.
shows and stuff like that. Do you think there are people like that for comedians? I don't think there are. I don't think there are people that are like, so you know, Mulaney's going on tour, and I'm gonna go to this one, this one, this one, this one, this
Yeah,
one.
no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, I guess there's not.
That would
That's
be
really
interesting. I like how he did it a little bit different
A
tonight.
very little bit different.
Yeah.
It's funny. Sometimes people write me because of Mark and Joe, and they'll be like, "Hey, I'm going to go to both of Mark's shows at this one club this night." They're like, "Is his act going to be different?" They'll write me and ask, and I'm going to be like, I write back and I'm like, "I'm not an authority on this. I'm not the right person to ask, but I got to tell you, probably not."
Right.
Like
There are some comics
Yeah.
where you can go to multiple shows and get
Yeah.
a decent amount different. Like
Yeah.
I like to riff. I like to play.
sure. Right. Yeah, of
so
course.
you can probably come to
Your Cooper's Cast coffee mug.
it's all empty from the the beans.
No, it's because it was too good,
It
too
was
delicious.
too good. It was too good.
Saved the table.
The angels came down and sipped it up.
Yep.
That's called evaporation, right?
That's not how we learned it in Indiana.
Yeah. Excuse me, but in my home school, it's not evaporation. The angels think it's delicious. They come down and they drink it slowly. No, I think you can come to multiple shows. There are people that will sometime come to like the early show and the late show when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I always feel terrible when they do it.
Yeah.
They end up getting a good chunk of different stuff.
Yes.
But it's always like, you should have told me that after.
Yeah.
Tell me that after. Don't tell me like, oh, I'm sticking around for the late show too. I have had people come to multiple shows in like a weekend in different places.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the insecurity or whatever, but I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
Oh no, I think
Why?
that's
Why are you
extremely common for comics to feel that way.
Yeah. But yeah, so you watched the special.
So I watched the special. I loved it. But the thing I wanted to talk about is I was talking, and this came up because I was thinking about depression and dealing with stuff. And I was talking to my therapist, and I'm trying. Sometimes I feel like I fall really down, like far down this rabbit hole of depression about different things.
Yeah.
And I've been talking to my therapist. I saw her in person for the first time in 2 years.
She lifted a restraining order.
And we were talking, and like at the end of it, she's like, all right, we got to, wrap up, whatever. And so she's putting her stuff away, putting my pants back up, and I knew it. and she was like, I'm like, I don't know if there's like a bigger way to handle this stuff. Like, I don't know if you've ever talked to like a therapist and be like, this situation made me really depressed, but it seems like it's come up a lot. So maybe there's a bigger thing about me that we can handle in terms of the way that I deal with situations like this or something.
Yeah.
And I was saying it to her, and she was like putting stuff on her desk. And I was like, I don't know if we should focus on like a bigger thing about me, because it just feels like every time we talk, I'm repeating the same type of stuff and how upset I got or how bummed out I got or how whatever. And it's just like, it never changes. Mm-hmm. And she's like, one of the things I think that you need to realize is that you don't have it that bad. She said that to me. And I was like, and I was trying to figure out if that's like a good thing, a bad thing to say, whatever. And she's like, maybe you should try some gratitude journaling. And Brad does this every day.
Yes.
And he puts it on his Instagram stories.
gratitudes.
The gratitudes.
I do saditudes.
Yeah.
And well, here's my question.
It'd be much easier if I did Saditudes.
So I was like, all right, maybe I should do the gratitude thing. But I am trying to dive deeper into myself and figure out how to change my emotional response to stuff that upsets me. Mm-hmm. Right?
I also have a really cool plus size clothing line called Fatitudes.
and I have 3 jokes. And
Right? Yeah.
and I was like, I'm going to start my gratitude journal. And I was like, I wonder if I should also write down the stuff that upsets me each day to find the pattern, find the stuff, and see if that will lead me to a place of clarity. And I talked to Brad about it, and Brad's like, no. He was like,
That's correct. I said no.
He was like, gratitude is to kind of highlight the positives so
Yeah.
that that's what stays in your head.
And let go of the negatives.
And if you do that with negatives, then you're kind of highlighting them and holding on to them.
Yeah.
And I understand that, but I'm trying to figure out a way to basically change the way that I deal with things that make me upset. Mm-hmm. And I thought a good way to do that would be to kind of collect them and say like, well, this is the type of thing that always makes me upset. How do I change my approach to this? How do I change my response to this?
It feels like wallowing.
Well, this is the thing. I want to bring it to the table to discuss it. And because what I'm realizing is everything that's like upsetting to me is about rejection. Every single thing. Mm-hmm. It goes from personal rejection, mostly, let's say, like career rejection or career, like someone being unappreciative, which to me is another form of rejection.
Okay.
Right. Romantic stuff like that, personal rejection, but it's all rejection, like 100% of it.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if I catalog that, could that be a catalyst for me to change my attitude towards it, or a way to change it?
But it sounds like you already know. So why go through the process of
I know,
like listing it? That it doesn't sound healthy.
Yeah.
To collect them. That feels to me like someone preparing to be a shooter. You know what I mean?
Well, that's
I say
the
that
thing.
not joking. I think it's like it just seems unhealthy. Like I'm gonna write down the things that have made me feel wronged. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yes.
Right.
And that's not about it. Having gratitude and writing those things is about highlighting the positive,
Right.
latching onto it, and letting go of the things that bother you. And I think cataloging is a way for you to like
Hold on
remember
to
it
them
and
more.
keep it in the forefront of your mind.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got to write that down. Let me write that
Yeah,
down.
that guy put onions on my sandwich. I got to write that down.
Yeah, and it's like you're looking for it.
I kind of stopped talking to people more openly about things that upset me because I'm like, well, this brings it up again. So, and it doesn't feel like it helps to talk about it a lot of times. And so I kind of pushed it away. And it feels similar to me with the attitude thing. Sorry, I didn't tell you that I called it gratitudes and attitudes, but it feels similar to me in terms of writing down the negative things. But people say you should talk about that stuff. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, when is it good to highlight this stuff? When is it good to talk about this stuff? When is it good to revisit it? Is there a way to tackle it from a direction of how do I change my feelings in response to this? And what is the way to change your response?
I think doing a thing that your therapist suggested you do, the way they suggested that you do it, is a good idea. And I think changing it and going, I'll do it, but I'm going to do it this way. And I'm going to add this whole other aspect to it. Even when the therapist is saying, don't do that, the people around you are saying you don't do that, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because I think it's helpful. I don't know. I don't think that is.
Well, it's tough for me because what I think is like, let's say like I'm upset by a thing, but it's like, all right, but that thing is over there. And I'm going to write down that my dad helped me, clean something. Like
Yeah.
he came over and did something that was nice for me.
Right.
As a gratitude listing thing. To me, it's like, I don't know if that actually helps the way that I deal with this other thing that has nothing to do with it. The idea, I guess, is shifting focus.
Yes.
Yes.
But
that's the
Yeah,
whole
but
point of doing it.
This thing over here isn't gone.
Yeah.
Because
here's the
I'm
thing is-
happy that I had good snacks today doesn't mean that somebody wasn't mean to me.
is the question is, I guess, is there value to figuring out how you deal with the sad stuff?
Yeah, of course.
Then it's hard for me to understand that and be like, don't think about that. Just focus on your dad helping.
It's
I'm
not saying don't think
think
about
about
it.
it.
Yeah.
It's saying like a year from now, if I look through a written down gratitude journal, I'm like, wow, like there's a lot of awesome things that happen.
Yeah.
But if then I set down my gratitude journal and I pick up my attitude journal,
Right.
and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
so many onions
Well,
on
maybe-
so many sandwiches.
Oh, maybe are you supposed to look at it later and then that helps you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Okay, so
No one ever told me
right,
that.
like when we talk about mental health, let's look at it as an analogy to physical health, right? A doctor's going to tell you if you want to be physically healthy, exercise, eat healthy. That doesn't mean you should be eating a sandwich while jogging. Those are two separate things to help you,
Yeah.
right? So having a gratitude
Wait,
thing,
what's on this sandwich?
whatever you want, it's
Please
all
let it be,
onion.
let it be Sloppy Joe.
Yeah, jogging with a sloppy Joe, a sloppy jog.
Yes.
And but those are two separate things. You know what I mean? And so to do the gratitude thing is to do that thing to achieve what you're after with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By adding in other things, you remove the whole intention of what that is. Maybe it will help you, maybe it won't. Because it's not a thing of like, oh, you've got that problem? Write down positives in your life, problem solved. It's just about highlighting it.
Yeah.
And when you said that she said to you that you don't have, you're not as bad off as you think you are or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that goes into that place.
For
so
sure.
by adding in, but here are the wrongs, like that muddies the water of what you were trying to do there. You know what I mean?
It's tough. It's tough because I do see talking to people about things that are upsetting you, journaling about things that upset you, and like obviously writing down things, which is very similar to journaling. They all seem the same to me in terms of like actually facing them, or maybe, I don't know, finding a way to get rid of them. Some people, because they tell you should talk about that stuff.
Yes.
And then some people, I guess, they should journal about stuff like that because it puts it into perspective, or you get to see it from what?
And you get to kind of explain it.
You get to explain it.
There's context with it, and the idea of hunting for a solution. Whereas if you're like, they put onions on my sandwich, and a panhandler kicked my car, and what other bad things have happened to me? Writing that down, you're not working to solve it. You're like, these things happen.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas
it's
if
almost
you're
like it's
journaling,
giving you a reason to be upset.
if you're journaling and you're like, man, I'm really upset about this thing because this person was cruel to me in such and such a way, and maybe they didn't mean it, but like that's how I felt. And you're processing your feelings. You're not just listing events.
Yeah.
Which is, for me, the gratitude is, things that happened that I am, trying to focus on, as opposed to, hey, like these other things that are dragging me down.
So it's almost like this is just us like talking.
Yeah.
It's like you want to write down, if you want to write down the things that are upsetting to you, you want to write it down in a way that is thoughtful and kind of like almost like exploring your feelings around it,
Yeah.
as opposed to like individual things.
Right.
Yeah.
But the point of the gratitude thing is just to be like, almost like a, don't forget you have blank, blank, blank.
Right.
These positive
exactly.
things.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I feel like what you said about if you bring it up, you're just highlighting a bad thing and being like, look at these bad things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like that when I'm talking through stuff that I have no control over.
Right.
Because there's some stuff that you're not happy with that you do have control over. And it's great to be like, here's a solution to that. I'm going to work towards it. And if you don't do it, then it's kind of your own fault. But as we all have experienced, there's a lot of stuff that sucks that we have no control over.
Right.
Yeah.
That is just, this is the world, or this is what you're dealing with, or this is in your path.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out a better way to deal with those things, to deal with the stuff that I can't control.
Sure. Yeah.
And I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there is a
Well, I think
singular.
sloppy jogs, I think, is
Yeah.
a physical
We have
fit.
sloppy joes, chow mein sandwiches,
Yes.
French dips.
Spaghetti.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Spaghetti.
Literally any soup.
Yeah.
Literally any soup at all.
Oh,
We
thank
do have
goodness
bread
it's
balls.
not gazpacho.
We have bread bowls. They're
Yep.
very hot.
Yep.
Just out of the oven.
But like the idea of like a bright white Under Armour long sleeve. It's
Yeah.
like $60, and you're like just eating a manwich as you go.
A manwich.
It's so funny to me.
Yeah.
And genuinely trying not to
Right,
spill it
right.
or stain yourself. Or
I mean,
anything.
that's a taskmaster task.
No,
And
yeah.
also, I think it's a good metaphor for life. Am
Yep.
I right?
Yeah.
No, it's just I'm trying to figure this stuff out. I feel
Yeah.
like, and I think I'm spinning my wheels with my therapist. I think we're
I
having
can
the
tell
same
you
con-
are, because you're bringing genuine therapy
Questions?
discussion and questions to the podcast.
I think people probably deal with this.
Yeah,
Well, similar to your 40 thing that we just did.
sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think that it's a weird
Ish.
thing to be. I think it's similar with period.
All
No,
right.
no ish.
Sure.
I think it is similar. It's just like I'm trying to figure out a deeper thing in me to change in response to the things that I can't change. And I
Right.
don't know what the method of getting there is.
Neither do I.
Nothing?
I'm a stand-up comedian. I got my own shit. You know?
I'm broken.
Yeah.
All right.
Period.
Yeah.
Full stop, as they say in the biz.
I wanted to put some super glue on that break.
Oh no.
It's just all it did was harden it.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And sometimes you need that. Sometimes you do need that. They call
Solidify.
it tempering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solidify the break.
No,
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if the gratitude and attitude would help.
I think
gratitude
gratitude.
will help,
I
yeah.
think gratitude and attitude. I think it's a funny name.
Yes.
But I don't think it's ultimately helpful.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for it.
All right.
I wish you would.
Have you tried wearing funny socks? That's people suggest that to me.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's a like bottom of the bag suggestion, right?
Pretty it's pretty condescending,
Have you
but
tried funny socks?
she was attractive, so I tried it.
Yeah, that's fair. Wait, was she selling funny socks at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I bought
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
Bought a lot. I bought stock in the company.
Yeah, you bought sock stock.
Went belly up.
Yeah.
Belly up.
Did
Just
you actually?
immediately.
Did you actually try it?
I mean, I've worn funny socks.
He puts his foot up on the table. It's a clown shoe.
Well, I'll say
It squeaks when he puts it up there.
it's weird because like it's a meta thing at this point. And you know, I did a video for a little live video podcast they were doing through the Providence Improv Guild.
Yeah.
And I told the story about it was a dunk contest. Was the theme of like send in your videos a dunk contest. And I said these are my socks that help me dunk on depression because I'm wearing funny socks. Dunk on. And
Oh,
so
yeah, I
when
remember
when
that.
I wear those socks, I'm
Yeah.
like these are my dunking on depression socks. And I'm aware of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's you know, it gives me another chance to break the fourth wall. I put up a fifth wall, I break that down.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. But you know, it's more like I'm aware of how silly this is.
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
it's a lighthearted look at things. That's
Yeah.
all. It's
I think
not
that's
not
healthy.
an attempt to like this will cure me.
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
we've all worn funny socks.
Yes.
We agree on that?
Sure. Yeah.
Did you actually wear funny socks to battle your depression, though?
No,
Never,
no,
not
no.
once.
No.
Okay, all right.
Well, no, I mean,
It was
maybe I should have.
tongue-in-cheek. It
Yeah.
was toe
didn't
in
know,
sock.
I didn't
Yes,
know if
toe
that
in
was
sock.
like a later thing where you're like, I'll give it a shot. This didn't work. Now I'm going to turn into a bit.
No.
You know what though? I think it could help like for severe cases because if you're suicidal, if you're wearing silly socks, I think for me personally it would stop me from doing it.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, well, I don't want to be found in these, right? You know what I mean?
Well, and
That's a different thing.
And if I have to come back as a ghost, and as a
Yeah,
ghost,
you're wearing those
dressed,
socks?
I'm wearing these socks for eternity.
Yeah.
Let's go to one more step then. Should you be wearing funny socks or humiliating?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Why? But my question is, why can't the humiliating socks be funny? Right? Yeah. How about wear Cosby socks? That's humiliating and
Yeah.
not funny,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's just like, that's embarrassing. That's like I hope people don't know I have these,
Right.
You know?
The idea of consistently wearing humiliating
Yeah.
socks as a deterrent.
Not even
to
humiliating,
suicide.
but just embarrassing. Like things that you wouldn't want people like wearing big high socks that say "I side with Chris D'Elia."
Yeah.
Right? Like that's a
Those were the funny socks I bought.
yeah. Everybody knows Chris D'Elia's great jokes. Oh man, what's your favorite Chris D'Elia joke?
Oh,
Okay.
It's one that he sent in an Instagram message to a friend of mine. She was
Oh, okay.
it's very
yeah.
funny.
I gotta say,
I don't
there's-
feel bad shitting on Chris D'Elia because A, creep du jour, right? And B, he was a dick when I worked with him.
All right.
This was pre everything coming out.
Right.
And so when it did happen, I went, yeah. Not surprised. You know,
I gotta say,
I
there's
still wear the socks though.
there's meat on the bone for the idea of consistently wearing humiliating socks,
Yeah.
so you don't kill yourself. That's
Yeah.
super funny.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
It's darkly funny.
Wait a minute. You bought me 6 pairs of cereal socks that look like one's
Yeah.
Raisin Bran. Those are kind of funny and humiliating.
They're not humiliating.
Is that a
If you-
suicide
His
deterrent?
heart was in the right place.
If you
Wore cornflake socks.
shifted off the mortal coil, whatever.
Shuffled off. them.
Shuffled.
Yep.
Yeah.
No
Well,
one-
no, you
shoveled.
shuffle off a coil. You shiffle off a coral. Is what you said, right?
It's like it's not humiliating to wear Fruit Loop socks. That's not so bad.
But what if you're crazy, and you actually are Fruit Loops?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. How about? I think this is fun because we're in this place now. This show is so weird, right? This show is so fucking weird. I do think at this point the best embarrassing socks would be Funbearable socks.
No way.
Yeah.
I think that I just think that I love the humiliating socks all the time. So you're just like, I can't kill myself today. That's
Not
hilarious.
today.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Why don't you just take the socks off?
It'd be so funny.
Don't give him idea.
It'd be so funny to be like them to look at it and go. And so he's just gonna
Yeah.
not do it.
Are you going to be available tomorrow? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I will.
Humiliating
I will
socks.
be free tomorw. But we're here.
Puts down his ceremonial sword.
yeah. He holds it. He goes, wait a minute, and he
Yeah.
looks at his.
That's when he turns the car off in the garage. On that note, on that beautiful
Yes.
snuff out, let's do the
else.
Hey, other us, shut up for a minute because this is an ad break.
It is. Support for Funbearable is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code FUNBEAR, all one word, at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, 7 million men equals about 14 million balls.
And I have an update from the last time that you said that in an
Yes.
ad break. It's 2 less now. 2 less balls. So if you could put that in the spreadsheet, I would really appreciate that. I will say about this wonderful sponsorship, I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring the podcast, and thank you for sending us the performance package to try out, and not just one to share.
Yes.
They did send us each an individual one.
Why are we sharing that one?
We don't want wear and tear on the other ones.
That's right.
Yeah, you go through the one, get rid of that one.
We don't understand.
Yeah.
Nose and ear hair trimmer, beard trimmer, below the waist groomer, some underpants that are surprisingly comfortable. I don't know why I'm surprised, but they're very comfortable.
Yeah.
And then a little spritz that's a ball toner, and a little different spritz that's a ball deodorant. And
I really do like the products. They are high quality. I know I joked about it in a previous ad that I was in the market for a beard trimmer.
Yes.
And so I was very happy to receive mine, and I used it. I couldn't wait when you texted me and said, "Hey, the package is in." I was pumped, and I used it, and I'm really, really happy with it. And it is genuinely something I would purchase outside of having a wonderful sponsorship.
Yeah.
And I'll be cheesy one more time and say 20% off is great. Usually a sponsorship discount is going to be some bullshit, like 10%.
Not us.
Not us.
This is 20% and free shipping too, which is huge.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
a lot of times, if you order an item and you're like, okay, well, you get to the end and then it's like $12.95 for shipping, and you're like, this adds 20% to the cost.
And that's why you didn't trim your pubic hair for 6 years.
Well, this is interesting because I've been coming up with these phrases. I didn't want to get into this. We actually are starting an ad campaign based on the 4 I came up with already.
Yeah.
They've been sending me prototypes, and I'm working with designers on the new catchphrases that I come up with for Manscaped. And
the
I actually,
designers are working with you on the catchphrases?
we're turning them into ads. We're having people act them out and have visuals and photo shoots and green screen. And there's a new one that I came up
I'm
with
not going to pursue it.
that I would love to drop on you guys today.
Please.
Yeah, I think that's an accurate description of what you're going to do. Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Uh-huh.
Now you don't have to explain your wild pubic mane. Manscaped.
All right.
Maybe back to the drawing board with those designers. Work on that one.
They're
a little
working
bit
on
more.
it.
Yeah, just a little bit more. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
More. Yeah.
Because now you don't have to explain it.
Right.
Yes.
Because you can tame it. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, that's closer. Funbears, go to manscaped.com, get 20% off and free shipping with the code FUNBEAR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code FUNBEAR, all caps, all one word. Manscaped. I'm still confused by Chuck's catchphrase.
It's the right snipper so you don't get pubes caught in your zipper. Is this how it works?
Yeah, you're doing it. This is killer.
I'm doing it?
They paid me $17,000 per phrase.
All right, I got to come up with some phrases.
We're not
okay,
supposed to
let's
lie.
see. Let's see.
It was in the thing. Don't lie.
All right.
How about we just go back to the episode?
Don't let your cock
Nope.
look like it was electrically shocked.
Oh, because of the hair.
'Cause-
Okay.
yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
It was electrically.
Thank you so much, Manscaped. We're going to go back to the episode now.
Something about Albert Einstein. Feeling fine.
Don't look your little chubby bag look like a wild-haired hag.
Hag. Ooh, yeah, the hag is good. Oh, ooh. When you look in your DOP kit, it's a DOP kit,
Okay.
right? DOP, that's a toiletry bag. When
Yeah.
you look in your DOP, to stop looking like Carrot Top. Is that a thing? Is that
That's it.
something?
I mean, for the redheaded viewers. So
what do you think people know who Beekman is from Beekman's World? He had wild hair, right?
remember Medusa?
Yeah. What about young Einstein? No, we're back to Einstein again. Damn it.
So basically, we have funbearablepod@gmail.com. We don't answer emails every week. We did 2?
I think we've done 2.
Yeah.
We
mail
did
sacks.
two mail sacks and packages episodes.
Yeah.
And we so we're gonna answer some of the emails that we get at funbearablepod@gmail.com.
Are you going to touch him? What's happening?
This is me pointing at the phone.
But you were like right at his head. I'm like, what's happening here? Like inching closer and closer.
This email is from our pal Trent. He wrote into funbearablepod@gmail.com. Hey, y'all. Loving the pod so far. Came over from the Chuck and Brad podcast and always enjoyed the mail sack readings. I never got to ask a question to Ray before, but I thought this would be a good question specifically for him. Then I thought Brad and Chuck could chime in with their thoughts. Ray, what is a subject or topic that you just don't find funny regarding stand-up? Maybe it's something that a lot of people always try to riff on, or just something that is tasteless or too easy as far as comedy goes. I would love to know your thoughts as someone who sees a lot of sets. Thanks as always for the free funny, Trent.
Thank you, Trent. Sincerely, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. Suicide, I think, is just just don't joke about it. You know what I mean? It's just too dark. No, I'm kind of weird about it. When I started stand up, I felt like, you can say anything. You know, there's a freedom of doing that, and you got to push boundaries and blah blah blah. But as I started doing it more, and I came to this place of trying to look at things positively in stand up, what I was going to say earlier was that I hit a point where I was like, I don't know what kind of comedian I want to be, right? And I needed to take a turn. And it was either going to be go negative,
right,
and like point out the things that drive me crazy or what's wrong and all these things, or be more positive and point out like silly stuff and absurdities. And I saw myself going down that dark side. Go ahead.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Just prop comic, and you were going to be Carrot Bottom.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Carrot Bottom.
Well, and I did it too.
So funny.
I did it because he's really muscular and in shape, and I went the other way.
Yep.
I wanted to prove that I was the bottom. Like
Oh
if you
my
looked at
God.
the two of us, you know who's who.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And or I could go this other route, and I decided to go like the positive route because my thinking was, if I do that as a comedian, I'm looking at material. I'm looking at life to find material.
Yeah.
And if I'm constantly looking at the negative, I'm going to be negative.
Right.
But if I'm looking for the fun, whimsy shit,
Right.
I get to stay fun and whimsical. Even when I'm fucking upset or bummed out. This is an escape, not a pressure valve release, you know? And so I'm really happy with that. I think I'm definitely one of the comics that's like, I don't think this idea of we can say whatever we want is true.
Right.
I think you can say whatever you want. I don't think you should say whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I think there's a way to talk about every single topic in a thoughtful way.
Right.
I can't stand a joke done in its shallowest form.
Yeah.
I don't like it, especially when it's a serious topic. You know what I mean? The hot button issues, the hot button things that people are in hot water for, or stuff like that. I think it's a waste of time to do a joke that is just surface level and has been done a million times.
Yeah.
That's pointless. Bringing up a topic that might be a hot button issue, but having a thoughtful thing in it,
Right.
all for it. I just get, there's so many like early in their comedy time people like doing an open mic somewhere, and they've been doing comedy for like 6 months, and they're saying horrific shit that isn't funny,
Yeah.
and it's just bad. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, congratulations, you did a rape joke. Good for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no thoughtfulness in there. And yet I've heard people talk about I guess you would call it a rape joke, but it's a bit and it's thoughtful and they're talking about nuances of it and there's meaning behind the joke and all that stuff. That has value. Good. Thank you. People that just do shit to say the N-word or say cunt on stage or something like that, it's like, this is pointless. So that's the long answer to say I don't think there's anything that's off limits.
Right.
But the way you do it matters so much.
Right.
I think that's where my answer would be. It's tricky.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it's funny because from the opposite standpoint of looking at what's good, it will always be the stuff that you're talking about that floats above. Even if if there is like people that have like basically stuff that's either shock, super simple, like mathematical joke stuff that's just this, and you know that that's all it is. It's to find this punchline. Even if people are like, oh, that's fine, I like that, whatever. The stuff that floats to the top, that will be the stuff of like, these are the specials of the year. These are the ones that got the most response. These are the ones, people that are moving forward is going to be the thoughtful stuff. And the stuff that is really about a unique perspective.
Well, and I think we're in a really weird time too, because stand-up comedy now is looked at as like this very important thing. And, I think back to the time of like, comedians are the philosophers, modern day philosophers, and they speak truth to power and stuff like that. I'm like, maybe before, you know what I mean? Maybe like when Carlin was doing stuff and things like that, but it's not that way anymore. And it's become like a battleground for like culture wars to happen. And it's like, this sucks because all of stand-up comedy, there's so many stand-up comics that are engaging in that culture war, where my personal view is like, as a comedian, you should be outside of this going, this is fucking ridiculous.
Right.
And I believe that firmly. And I think we're in a place where with social media and online personalities, there was that movement a few years back of just like so many terrible people that said awful, offensive shit online, on YouTube channels and stuff like that. And their immediate response was like, it's a joke. I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
And they've never been on stage in their life. But it's like, oh man, that woman, there's this blonde woman, like when Donald Glover's This Is America video came out, she made like basically the white version. And she's like, it's just a joke. I'm a comedian. And it's like, no, you're just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of that mentality of things, and saying it's a joke as a shield to like stop any form of criticism of the thing is garbage. And I think it devalues what stand-up comedy is or comedian means or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I think,
using that as a defense.
I think that it's more fun when comedy is just for the sake of comedy. Like, in terms of like what you're talking about, like the hot button issue stuff. Like I was recently watching a thing that was about The Simpsons, and it was about what is the best season of The Simpsons, which I guess is season 4, is widely looked at as the best. And they actually have a formula breakdown of how many are about this character, how many about this character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Simpsons is overall one of the best comedies of all time.
Yes.
At the time, season 4 was at like the height where like people were like gathering to watch it. You know what I mean? It was before the rise of current media stuff. And I'm like, none of that stuff was like, let's tackle this. Let's tackle this. It was just, let's make a funny thing from our perspective.
Right.
Yeah.
Not about this, but it's like Homer's going to be Mr. Plow. And I still think that that's where the most unique takes are going to come from, is saying, I'm this person, here's how I see the world. I want to focus on this thing. And it doesn't have to do with this is a viewpoint on this important thing. It has to do with like, why do people care about this so much? Or something just like It's just for fun.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of
it's
comedy,
an absence of a take. There's no take
right.
on it.
exactly. And I think that type of comedy
Sure.
has like faded.
Yeah.
Because algorithm stuff, post stuff, people are like, well, if you talk about things that are in the news, if you talk about these things, then they're going to get more traction. They're going to get more engagement.
And because
more
the
comments.
culture war
Yeah.
bullshit has entered into stand-up and it's become a talking point thing.
Yes.
And you have to take a stand.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're this kind of
Yes.
comic.
Right.
This is what I do. And if you don't like that, fuck off and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other side's like, no, you can't joke about any of these things. And I'm just in the middle going like, what the... I think that guy's a fucking Nazi, and I think you don't know what comedy is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So where are we?
Yeah, I
You
know. I want to hear
Can we
jokes
make
about hot
jokes?
dogs. That's what I want to hear.
Give me another Mitch Hedberg joke, please.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I mean.
Right. And I like that's part of the thing I had to like go through
Yes.
in that time. And I used Paul F. Tompkins as the example of like the positive side of things.
Right.
Yes.
Where it's not silly, goofy bullshit with nothing behind it. They're great jokes about things that are relatable and whimsical and fun.
Yes.
And that's where I want to live. I want
know,
to be
me too.
there.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
know.
mean? That's the fun.
I know. It
Yeah.
sucks because I think a lot of that older stuff that people think of as like being part of stand-up comedy was peppered in and like the actual takes on things. And it was also presented as ideas. And like, what about looking at things this way with all the fun whimsy?
But there is also like the idea of genres of stand-up.
Sure.
Right.
That people do not understand.
Yeah, I think so
It's
too.
the people that go to like a comedy club.
Yeah.
And they're like, this isn't what I came here to see.
Right.
You know, something
Yeah.
like that. And it's like, well, Google the person that
Yeah.
you're going
Yeah,
to
who
see.
cares?
Find
Yeah.
out if that's what you like.
I know.
And they come and it's like, but what were you expecting?
Right.
And they're like, well, I like Jeff Dunham and Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, okay, but you came to see
Anthony Jeselnik.
Anthony Jeselnik.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not getting that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And there is like genre stuff, and I think pre the culture war getting involved, right?
Right.
You could be like, oh, if I want to hear political takes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch a Lewis Black special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I want silly fun, I'm gonna see that Robin Williams HBO special or something like
Yeah.
that, where
Yeah.
it's all silly stuff.
Yeah.
If I want this thoughtful thing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There were all these different types of comedy.
sure, yeah.
And people were fine with that. Now, though, it's just like you're either this or you're that.
Yeah.
And it's weird because personally, I feel the whole ism of stand-up comedy is to remove that. To remove you're either this or
the
that.
boundaries. Yeah, exactly. We talked about this the other day because I was writing, I think it was because I texted you about the Birbiglia live show. And I was like, I think this is his funniest one. And Mike Birbiglia does like these one-man show kind of things where there's usually a dramatic element that is about life.
Remember when he was doing the masks?
Yeah.
He had the drama and the comedy masks. And he would, with a flourish,
Oh, yeah.
put one on and
Unitard
put one on.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his big point at the end where he said the same exact thing wearing drama and then said the same thing wearing the comedy. And
Yeah.
it's like, do you see? There's two sides of the same coin. And then he did this. Then he produced a coin.
From each audience member's ear.
Yeah. One at a time.
Coin. No.
And coin.
He had the comedy mask on. He read the Emancipation Proclamation, and I was like, "Where is this going?"
Yeah, yeah.
Then he did Chris Rock bit, but he was wearing the drama mask.
Yeah.
Did it
And
very-
he said the full
No.
word.
the full bit.
Full bit.
So no, but he did this thing that it's coach. It's like a one-man show type of thing, and there's a dramatic element at the end, whatever.
Yeah.
And I know that some people in comedy like shit on that kind of stuff and
Yeah.
shit on the idea of an elevated idea or like an alternate idea. And I'm like, but don't you think that's more fun that everyone's more spread out in terms of what they're doing? Like the more that everyone is doing the same thing,
Yeah.
the more that's going to feel redundant and boring.
Yeah.
And the more that you get these people pulling in different directions,
Well, what
that's
he's-
better.
And my thing is too is like what he's doing is like. Could you try again? What?
Okay, I'll give it another shot, I guess.
Back up, do another take. Let's see. But no, I think like what he's doing is like the standard for like UK comedy,
For
right?
sure,
Because
yeah,
they
yeah.
have more of a one man show kind of,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
women, or one woman show.
One
Two women
person.
shows.
That's what Chuck says whenever he's setting up a live Chuck and Brad show. He's like, "This is a one woman show,"
Yeah.
and then he checks the audience,
Yeah.
and he's like.
That's two.
That no. And you always complain about how now you can't ask, right? Like it's But no, I think there's a place for anything, really.
Yeah.
And I think like a part of it too is understanding like I kind of complained about more of the I hate like the idea of them saying it's freedom of speech. It's like that's not we all have that. We're fine. It's called consequences and other people having freedom of speech as well.
Yeah.
But I will say on the other side of the coin, the people that get upset at everything that is said, I get frustrated when it's like, that's a character. Like
Yeah.
they're doing a character
Yeah, of
making a
course.
point,
Yep.
and the point they're making is the one that you espouse. It's the one you agree with. It's the one you like.
People, yeah, I've seen exact things like that where people are like, well, they used a word I don't like. And it's like, but they're making the point that you think is correct.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
It's a weird place. I think we're in a place now where like whatever you say, regardless of anything, has to come down on a side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you don't outwardly choose that side,
Yeah.
they'll pick it for you. You
Oh,
know what I
for
mean?
sure, yeah.
And they'll interpret it however they want. This is the end of the movie Vengeance by BJ Novak. That's like the whole point of that ending.
Yeah.
I just think we need more like dirty nursery rhymes. I feel like it's been
Yeah.
a while since we've heard those.
Yeah.
And now there's a void in the comedy world where someone brave enough could step in and smash fruit with a giant hammer.
Yes.
There's a void.
Someone
Yes.
brave enough.
But
It's funny.
also bringing the political views that he had to the stage as
maybe
well.
Leave those behind for the
I
time
don't know.
being.
I don't. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He was
yeah.
a kook.
I think I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've seen a prop based comic really explode in a long time.
Since Carrot Bottom.
Yeah.
I think the idea of you coming out and you're doing your normal stuff, and like the last 5 minutes, you're like, all right, audience, and you set the stool down, and you set a watermelon down, and you get a giant mallet.
Yeah,
Headlines.
that's true.
It is. It
Once.
would be funny to do something that is a misdirect with a mallet and a watermelon. That is funny.
I think it would be set up for me like a magic show.
Yeah.
And when I swing the mallet, suddenly it hits, and then the mallet shatters.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
blinded.
Yeah.
I got jagged mallet parts in my eye.
It's all
You know,
foam.
you know, it'd be
It's all
really
foam.
cool. So if it's you and you're standing, to the side,
Yeah.
and you lift up the mallet and you swing it down to the watermelon, and I don't know how. Don't ask me how. You are obliterated.
Yeah,
as if
yeah.
you
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably that's a Chuck CGI.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
have to be filmed.
Yeah.
We'll have to.
to film it.
Yeah, that'll be in post.
How about I walk up with the sledgehammer? There's the watermelon.
Okay.
I raise it up.
Yep. I'm with you.
Drop my pants, start fucking the watermelon.
Okay.
And
You
then
lost me a little.
and then I have the hammer for anybody that tries to stop me.
Okay.
How about this?
But you have your political affiliation on
No,
the
no, no.
end of the
I'm
hammer.
doing it, but it's like it's the stand-up version of a political cartoon
Oh,
where
okay.
everything has to be labeled,
Yeah.
right? So it's me fucking the watermelon, and I'm going, the watermelon's the tax code. Right? Like, that's what I'm doing.
How about this? You lift up your mallet.
Yeah.
Right? The watermelon's on this stool. You lift up your mallet, and then you hear from off screen, "Hey!" And then I come out dressed as a watermelon, and I say, "Get away from my wife." That's pretty good.
You think it's funny to smash watermelons? You've never lost family members.
Yeah.
I say, "Get away from my wife," and we go, and scene.
Oh no, you start chasing me. We run around the stage, and Yakety Sax starts playing.
And then hold on. All right, so we run, right?
Yeah.
Then Ray comes, then me, then like a huge Ray chasing me. I'm talking 40 feet tall.
Yeah.
And then the credits come up, and then the post credit, it's me hugging the mallet as my son. I guess. I just want to be involved, guys.
Yeah.
I just want to be involved.
Yeah, and then
What was the email?
yeah, right. Yeah,
It's about what stuff have you seen that's hacky and
yeah. I think a lot of it is just like empty meaning, and anything empty of meaning, if they're trying to make a point,
Right.
is annoying as shit.
Right.
I think for me personally, the thing that I have the least patience for in stand-up.
Yeah.
I guess that's more direct to the question.
Yeah.
The thing I have the least patience for is someone doing like filthy or offensive shit just for the sake of it, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
for
shock
sure.
comedy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's bad and
Yeah.
it's not funny.
Yeah.
Because basically the biggest sin for me is like if it's not funny.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Even if you're well-meaning, what the fuck are you doing,
Yeah.
right? But especially if you're somebody being like, I'm going to say this horrible fucking thing
Yeah.
because I can.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to say the horrible thing. And it's men, it's women, it's everybody that
Yeah.
I've seen do this. And there are certain people that lean so far into it. And often, like, you just know, it's like, okay, so you like this person, this person, and this person
Yeah.
in comedy. But the difference is they're really funny,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And you're not. So you're just on stage saying horrible things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
And yeah, so that's the thing I like the least.
For sure.
I get
Yeah.
you. I get you.
Yeah.
Next.
Oh, and women. I mean,
Yeah, of
what are we
course.
doing?
Yeah.
So
Next email is from Juan. It's subject line Ecuadorian fan. Hey, fellas.
we've got a fan in Ecuador.
Big fan here from Ecuador, living in LA, though. So far, every episode has made me.
Me and you both
I know. Just took the wind right out of our sails. Here we were like, wow, Ecuador, huh? That explains that one down low. All right.
I'm changing my facial hair.
Wait, why?
I don't know. I thought it was going to be an Ecuadorian
Remember what I
guy.
just said?
So
All of a
far.
sudden you pop up with what you think are Ecuadorian stereotypes.
You know what? Give me three things,
Yes.
3 Ecuadorian facts right now, Chuck.
And if we could just zoom in on Chuck's face slowly so we can see the drop of sweat, the bead
No,
of
I got
sweat.
one.
3
We want
Ecuadorian stereotypes.
3 facts about Ecuador. And
One.
3 stereotypes.
Loose dogs everywhere.
Slutty
You're looking
dogs?
at me like I know?
Slutty dogs? What do you mean by loose?
I mean, there's too many
There's no
wild
owners?
dogs. They're
Wild-
just everywhere.
Okay. That feels slightly racial.
I think it's real.
Okay.
Maybe racial too.
I don't know. Well, we've got our resident
Ecuador.
expert. looking it up.
Also, thriving tourist community.
That might be accurate, but I'm not sure. Because guess what? I don't know.
And lots of kidnappings.
Oh, no. I think you just described Colombia, I believe. Oh, no. Let's not go here.
What's the capital of Ecuador, Chuck?
Ecuador City.
Ecuadorio.
I think there's a seafood restaurant in Bristol with the same name.
Wow.
A very similar name.
Sip and dip.
Seafood.
Seafood.
That's the part I'm not
I
about.
mean, I guess you could, an oyster and then like maybe clams, clam strips, sip, dip.
Perfect.
Dude, how about the dog thing? Accurate?
I don't. It's
I'll look
hard
it up.
to tell compared to others. Anyway,
What's the capital? Golden Shepherd.
yes, Quito,
Keto?
Quito.
I know people on that diet.
So far, every episode has made me cackle, and after years of being a comedy pod junkie, cackling felt impossible.
Wow, that's a nice. Hey, you know what? Thank you very much, Juan. That's a lovely compliment.
I've been a Brad head, a Ray head, and then, unfortunately, a Chuck head, because those goddamn table reads are undeniably hilarious. P.S.
Fun.
This is too long already, so let me just say thank you for the joy and keep it up. Best, Juan. Thank
That's
you,
lovely.
Juan.
That's
Thank you,
really,
Juan.
really
Nice.
lovely.
Yeah.
That was great. Now,
And we're sorry about what we said about Ecuador.
I looked up dogs Ecuador. It says there are a lot of dogs roaming Ecuador. Then
Yeah.
the next question, why are there so many stray dogs in Ecuador? Next one, are there wild dogs all over Ecuador? What to do if you're attacked by wild dogs in Ecuador?
But you're just reading your Google search history.
yeah, all the answers. There's not.
yeah.
You're okay.
Calm down. Google just told me to calm down.
On Pet Health Network, the overwhelming street dogs of Ecuador.
Wow.
So that was a good one.
Yeah.
Now we gotta hope for the
Are they
kidnapping.
gangs?
Yes.
Are they gangs?
Kidnapping.
Do the dogs do the kidnapping? Just a dog comes out of nowhere and drags a kid off?
This email, subject line, a little psychotic. It's from our friend Jack. At the
I just pictured a tiny person who's insane.
At the 1 hour, 11 minute, 55 second mark of the Vuln-bearable episode, Chuck laughed in a way that made me think the Joker miraculously appeared in the studio. If this podcast thing doesn't work out, Chuck could always replace Mark Hamill as the Joker.
Oh, look at that.
Crying laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji. No, sorry. Crying laughing emoji, crying laughing emoji, crying laughing emoji. Brad, please read these emojis out loud.
That's
That's
great.
fine. I was just going to say, I remembered as you did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, me too.
That last time you did this, and
Yeah.
it sounds like a court stenographer reading
Yeah.
back the minutes. I love it.
And then it was who needs Joaquin Phoenix when we have Chuck Staten, which is a good point.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
All right. This is a longer one.
By the way, I've heard a lot of positive things about my laugh in the past couple of years, and I think I know why. It's because my laugh is so like grating and obnoxious that anyone else who might think their laugh is grating and obnoxious, they listen to mine and they go, "Oh, I'm fine." Right?
Sure, I think it's infectious. And
In
by
which
that,
way?
I mean it was caused by an infection. Yeah.
By the
Yeah.
like, you know, an
Just
STD.
a doctor with a little tiny pen light looking in your throat going, oh, yeah. Your laugh is going to be fucked up.
Yeah.
No, I do think I'm the Rocky Dennis of people with slight face
No,
issues.
people loved Rocky Dennis.
Next one, also from Jack, also in reference to the Vuln-bearable episode.
All right, we'll
Which-
we'll let another email in, but three's too much.
Well, just to the people who haven't listened to that episode, we did like a 2.5 hour episode.
Yeah.
that was about me dealing with a lot of rejection at once and how I was kind of hitting a low, and so it was kind of emotional.
Yeah.
And this is an emotional email.
Oh, no.
So just be prepared. Chuck, I'm so sorry for how long this is. That's a thing that Chuck has never had to say.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brad got one.
I rarely do.
Put that one on the board.
Yeah. it's so
Ready?
And by the way, I don't mean that as like you're not funny.
No.
You are very, very funny, and you have lots of jokes in every episode, and people are a fucking fan of that and you. It's just funny the idea of you getting one over on Chuck.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Raise the insult king. I'm the jester, and Brad is the
Deuce
pauper.
of clubs.
I'm just confused why I get the crown on that. I don't know why.
So many hits. You hit me every 10 seconds.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is weird.
Chuck, I'm so sorry for how long this is. I want you to know that you're not alone in feeling the way that you do. I feel that way almost every day of my life, and it feels nice to know that I'm not alone, so thank you for sharing and being vulnerable in this episode. I literally just had a similar thing happen with the girl I met on Bumble. Things were going great, we made plans for a date, and I didn't hear anything for 2 days. We tried again, and same thing. I then gave up, and she messaged me a month or so later, and I got my hopes up, and then it happened a third time. I've now blocked her number. And let me say, Jack, kudos to you for that, because I would still be like, well, maybe this is just part of our love story.
Brad would say, "How do you block a number that's tattooed on your bicep?"
Yes.
I should have said this.
Yeah, forearm, because I don't
Forearm,
like
yeah.
I can only fit 6 digits on my bicep.
As long as they're ones, he's fine.
As for the feeling that everyone hates you, that's how I feel almost every day. I feel like I'm forcing myself into social situations with people and that no one actually wants me there. I know that's not true, but it doesn't change how it feels in my head.
Sure, yeah.
And with people who were friends not reaching out, that's almost all of my friends. I don't hear from anyone from back home or Austin. I now live in Utah for work. I get that everyone has their own lives, but I always feel like I'm the one who reaches out first. That's a good thing, Jack. Being the one who reaches out first. Anyway, sorry again for the ramble. I just wanted you to know that you're not alone and to thank you for letting me know that I'm not alone. Always happy to be Funbearable, Jack. P.S. If you ever decide to go the Mormon route and marry a bunch of women, like Brad mentioned, I know some of the cool non-Mormon places to visit here in Utah. PSS, if you want to share this email in the pod, you can feel free to do so. and to use my name, but that's not why I'm sending it. I just wanted to make sure you don't feel like you're alone in this. It's PASS, PASS. Brad and Ray, I'm glad Chuck has friends like you around to help him when he's feeling down. Woo! By kicking him.
No, that's not true.
I appreciate it, Jack. And I think that's why, like, even in the beginning where I brought up the what do I do about this depression thing?
Yeah.
That's why I bring it up, is because I think that there are people that go through similar things. So I'm trying to, tackle my issues, in public. I appreciate it, buddy.
All right. We've got one here from our friends at Sequel Productions. Matt.
Oh, Matt Bonta.
Yeah.
He's a longtime listener of the Chuck and Brad podcast, came over to Funbearable.
Hey, Chuck, Brad, and Ray. Been listening since day one, a holdover from the Chuck and Brad podcast. I always enjoy the shout-outs you gave me over there, so I thought it was about time to drop you guys a line over here. Just wanted to make sure you guys got your bearings together, and now that you've caught up and started answering emails, here I am. Quick update on my end of things. The movie is finished, as you guys mentioned on the very last episode of C&B. We're at the tail end of editing and just anticipating the premiere on the upcoming Friday the 13th here in Reno, which was last weekend.
We missed.
He's making like a Friday the 13th like fan film.
Oh, fun.
And he's been working on it for a long time.
Yeah.
I doubt you guys will be around my part of the country, but I'll definitely submit to any and all festivals in your neck of the woods and hope for the best. I digress. The most recent episode of Funbearable, number 16, Vuln-bearable, it's very difficult to say, was exactly what I loved about Chuck and Brad. Just friends sitting down and talking life. Probably my favorite episode so far. Thanks, guys, for the funny and for the real. A nice mix of that always leaves me wanting more by the end of the episode. I always look forward to your podcast. Life does get tough, and you guys help to distract for an hour or two. Or three. Or
3.
4 or 9.
I appreciate the work you guys put in. All three of you, hang there. That's all we can. That's all we really can do. Take care, Matt. Thank you, Matt.
Wow, thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Matthew.
It's also funny to think, like, I remember Ray and I were talking about the title of that episode the day before, because it was like we had another one. We had Vuln-bearable and another one that we were going back and forth on.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
And we were like, I remember we were like, well, Vuln-bearable written is not too difficult to read and understand
Yeah.
it. And we're like, yeah, no one's going to have to say it out loud.
Yeah.
And Brad is like, Vuln-bearable.
Yep.
I think it was Vulnerable Boys.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
This one's from Patrick. Hey, Funbear Squad. Finished the new episode Vuln-bearable last night on my way home from work, and it was a roller coaster of emotions thrill ride. I laughed, cried, and laughed again. I could relate to growing old and growing apart from my friend groups and the alienation that comes along with it. Ray, your insights on life are incredible, and helping Chuck put things in perspective reminds me of the friendships I've lost along the way. Brad, your spreadsheets are hilarious, and hope to hear you share some more of your personal life experiences with the other Funbears. Seems like you guys share a strong bond, and I'm sure it will benefit you. Or it may not, and I shouldn't tell a stranger to air his personal shit on a podcast. Haha. Either way, I'm really enjoying the pod, and I'm planning to drive from New York for the live show. Haven't been to Rhode Island before, and may try to make a mini vacation out of it. Thank you guys for everything. I pity the ghoul. That's from Patrick.
I love it.
And
I
he did come to the live show. He came out with us afterwards.
That's fantastic.
Amazing. That's awesome.
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate it. And you know what? And that feels nice to hear. I think it's nice to hear that it's quality insights. If only he would listen to me about them.
I thought you said write down all the bad things that upset you. Read them
Out loud,
repeatedly.
loudly, in public, while cleaning a gun
Make your dad read them to you.
at gunpoint.
This is from our buddy Corey. Subject line, open mics, Galactic. Hey boys, I could use some advice. I want to do a short stand-up set in our area. Would a spot like the Galactic in Warren, the Galactic Theater, in Warren, where Chuck and I live, be a good start? I keep seeing posts about open mics and have a serious urge. Is it typical for someone in my shoes to show up the day of and expect time? What's the etiquette? How many Cumbies blowjobs does a guy got to give to get 5 minutes at the Galactic?
Cumbies is short for Cumberland Farms.
Yeah, it doesn't make it any better.
A
And
convenience
that
store
is
chain.
that is a reference to a fun thing that he told us about.
Yeah. It open mics typically you show up and you sign up and you do your 5 minutes.
Yeah, show up, go up.
And
Yeah.
it's not necessarily at a place like the Galactic, but a lot of pars and bubs.
I think that they
Bars and
do an
pubs
open
have
mic at the Galactic though, which is why
They
I
might.
think-
Yeah. And so it's you can expect a couple minutes, 5-ish.
Yeah.
But I have another friend who said he wanted to try stand up, and I said, there are different places that offer it. When you go up there, don't expect to change the world, and like go up and be able to learn from your mistakes, record it, listen to it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get questions about this a lot. In fact, this past weekend, I was at a Don't Tell comedy show in Boston at Johnny Cupcakes, an artist, great artist, and so we did it at their store, which was fun. And the green room was the back room.
Okay.
So I have a lot of Johnny Cupcakes stuff. And I'm not kidding. I truly do. But it was because they were so awesome. The staff was there, and I was talking to the staff. The manager was really nice. And it was truly just like, I'd be like, oh, that's really cool. And he'd be like, yeah, go ahead. Take it. I'm
Nice.
like, oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Cool. Yeah, next week I'll bring my Johnny Cupcakes mug. Because I needed water. I was like, do you guys have bottled water? And he's like, no, but take one of the mugs, and you can use the water cooler. I'm like, okay. I have a mug now, you know.
That's cool. Yeah.
But no, they're great. And I was talking to one of the employees who wants to start doing stand-up. And so I was giving that same kind of advice to them. And I would say the biggest thing is when you go to an open mic, the first time you do it, just don't, like you said, you're not going to change the world. Don't think of it as like, I'm going to go up and kill and my HBO special will be coming, right? That's like the shorthand of it.
Yep.
You need to go up just to go up.
Yes.
To have the experience, because whatever you think it is off stage, it's very different when you're on stage. It's a different thing.
Right. Yeah.
So just do it to do it and get it out of your system. And then if you really like it, continue.
Yeah.
Like go back up again. And the shorthand I always use is that like the first year at least, and ideally throughout, you're not writing the material to figure out this is the material I do, this is who I am, this is great. If you're doing it right, a year later, you're not doing those jokes anymore.
Right.
Those are your brand new jokes, and you go, ugh, when you think of them, right?
Yeah.
What you're doing is learning the tools. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You are figuring out the tools of how to chip away at that marble to find a joke.
Yeah.
And I think a good thing to remember, this is from me and Brad doing open mics, is like, it's not a show. So you might go to open mics where it's 100% comics whose faces are down in their own notes, thinking about what they're going to do.
Sure.
And you're not getting laughs and people aren't really even paying attention. But the act of getting on stage, taking the mic out of the thing, being dealing with the lack of attention, dealing with the lack is almost part of what's going to make you eventually, hopefully, bulletproof to that stuff. And I think that that's a big part of open mics as well, is almost just the physical act of dealing with that kind of disinterest.
Oh, sure. Yeah, there was an open mic when I first moved here. There was an open mic in Attleboro.
Yeah.
North Attleboro, I think.
Yeah.
Massachusetts. And it was a good spot. We were all the comics would go to this thing on the night that it was going on. I can't remember, maybe Thursday night.
Yeah.
And we would go to this show and we would work on our stuff and we'd do our thing. And most of the time it was just comics.
Yep.
And the thing that we always talked about, like the group of, working comics that would go, like myself, Derek Furtado, Brian Bowden, people like that, John Porch, we'd go and I would always joke with them and be like, oh yeah, if it kills here, I shouldn't do it on stage at a real show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's different. We're laughing for a different reason.
Yeah.
It's we call them because Brad and I have spent tons of years just writing together for film stuff, film projects, and we call them writers room jokes.
Yeah.
And like even when you and I were going over, like when we were trying to figure out the independent ending, when you had that dangling scene that we didn't know what to do with.
Yeah.
There was a lot of writers' room joke stuff like that. And whenever people that write
Yeah.
together do it, it's like, this will never work for the project we're doing, but in the context of
Isn't it
being
funny knowing
behind
this?
the scenes of
Yeah.
the projects we're
Yeah.
doing, that's where it works.
In stand-up, it's back of the room.
Yeah.
You're doing jokes for the back of the room, which is where all the comics are.
Where the comics are, yeah.
But you got to just go up. And I would
do
say
it.
this for Corey asking about the logistics of going to this particular mic.
Right.
You have to just go.
Yeah.
And also don't be afraid to just go and not go up.
Right.
Like for the first time,
Yeah.
get a lay of the land. Go that night.
Yeah.
See what
That's a
it's
good idea.
like. Is it a quality mic? Mm-hmm. And then you'll also see how people sign up and go up.
Right.
And then you'll know next time.
Yeah.
And you'll have a better idea of it.
Yeah.
Talk, and if you get a chance, talk to whoever's running it or talk to other comics. Let them know you're thinking about doing it.
Yes.
They're going to let you know everywhere to go. They're going to let you know who to talk to.
Yeah.
And if you think, and it's a good litmus test too, because if you think to yourself like, oh, I don't want to go and not go up and just watch, then I don't think you have enough like willingness to throw time away that you need when you're a stand-up comic.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. But thank you, Corey.
Yeah, I think Chuck and I, when we went to a small show and just watched. And
Yeah.
then I think we went to an open mic in New Bedford, Mikey B's maybe.
Yeah.
And we just watched.
Yeah.
And then the next week we went and and did our fives. And that was in preparation because we knew Brian and we had 5 minutes on a bringer show, a show where you have to bring a certain number of audience members in order to be like let up on stage. And we were booked on that because we had done a 2-person. I don't know the whole timeline, but basically, like we went to open mics. We did open mics in Coventry to 17 other comedians who had all mostly done a different open mic that night, and then come to this one. And it's just do it. Just go up.
Yeah,
and try.
Yeah, I think that's a big one, too.
And
the
most
big
of
thing.
this can also apply if you're thinking about getting into the swinger scene
The world of ceramics.
or like sexual exploration group sex.
Right.
A lot of this applies. You can go to an orgy and just watch, just get the lay of the land, see
you don't have
how
to
it
be
works.
part of it.
Exactly. And then, the next time
Slip in.
you kind of understand what's going on, do a tight 5 and get out.
Slither in.
Yeah.
And
Or Hufflepuff.
as soon as I
right.
We just yes-anded like into a corner, and now I think we're kissing. I don't know what's going on.
All right, I've
Or
got,
we're just going, you're so funny.
we've got time. We've got time for like 2 more emails, right?
we got a couple more. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we have time for one really long email.
Brad and I have to be somewhere that's 10 minutes away in an hour and 15 minutes.
Are we saying it?
We're gonna go see Joe
Alcoholic
Pera.
Anonymous? Oh,
Well,
yeah. Going to see Joe Pera.
Yeah,
We're gonna go
that's-
see
that's
Joe
the
Pera
secret
at the
code.
Columbus Theater in Providence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Columbus. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. This one is also from Corey. It's Serious Ray / Chuck Man.
Are we fighting?
Man.
Yep. I listened to Vuln-bearable in 3 parts and wrote in before getting to the mush. I can't be the only listener who treats these episodes like the Godfather saga.
We do. Yeah. It usually is like the first part was awesome. The second part, even better. The third part, I was like, what the fuck are they doing? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Chuck, if you ever need to talk, here's my phone number. I'm usually up late sorting Pokemon cards, doing eBay, or playing with my Ninja Turtles. Get yourself a mantra, dude. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm here to have a good time has been mine since they let me out of Arkham Asylum. Learn to embrace those character defects and flaws. I so badly want to grab you by the throat muffin to tell you how money you are and hope you're feeling better, dude.
Look at that.
It's a swingers reference.
Yeah.
That's great.
Damn.
No, throat muffin is not.
I just have well, I was eating a muffin when he sent it.
Oh,
that
okay.
makes sense then.
And you do have, you swallow very slowly.
Yes.
Well, I
Like a snake.
I hold him in my cheeks like a squirrel.
Oh, okay. Man, Brad, we got to say, let's both look at the camera and say, like, we're sad too, so we can get some sweet compliment.
Well, here's a compliment. Ray is so fucking good, though. God damn.
Oh,
Did
thank you.
somebody seriously complain about him? He's super
it's back to the
wise.
negative.
This conversation and the talk Brad and Ray had on religion early on were fucking stellar. Peace.
Oh, thank
sorry,
you.
Peace emoji and heart emoji, Corey.
Thank you very much, Corey. That's lovely.
I will say, I want to ask Ray about this. Early on, we were starting the podcast. We got
Yeah.
a couple very gentle, I love you guys. I'm worried about the show because it's going to be going from Chuck and Brad to a
Yeah.
3-man thing. I think we've gotten more. I was one of the people who was worried, and the show is
Yeah.
killer,
Yeah.
than we got of the original emails.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
I've just noticed it, and one came in like as recently as yesterday.
But I will say, at that time, I did not have a time machine. I only had some people being like, right? And it's like, okay, gonna have some fun today. What if a lady named Sheila liked movies a lot?
And they're like, okay, we like them.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I won you over. I was dripping with like just anger.
Remember, last week I said Ray, if we had a Funbearable clue, it'd be Ray did it in the basement with a passive aggressive comment.
Yeah.
This email is from Michael. Papa Funbears. No jokes here, just passing along a podcast I listened to recently that I found fairly insightful
Don't
concerning
plug other podcasts on here.
emotional intelligence and steps we can all take to process things in a more productive way.
Oh, shit. This person has a time machine.
This is like a Vuln-bearable part 2 almost.
I know, well, because all the emails are coming in around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably when we did the last email episode.
What if there are emails later with after that episode came out and there's further episodes and then a bunch of them are just like, never mind, you're fucked up.
You're too far gone. Chuck, after the last episode, Vuln-bearable, sounds like you may find value in it too. Worth a listen. Ray, you may take something away as you've always been open in sharing a bit about growing up without a father, etc. Brad, you are a steel trap, unwilling to let anyone in. Too hard a nut to crack as I see it. If your hardened exterior should soften and your defenses come down even slightly, maybe you too could benefit. In this podcast, the psychologist, Susan David, talks about her own grief and response after losing her father to cancer at 15. I noticed some parallels with my own experience. My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer when she was 33 and I was 6, and passed away at 37, 2 months to the day after my 10th birthday. That grief and my response to it have had a profound impact on my life.
Yeah.
I've listened to this episode a few times and may scoop her book on emotional agility, probably via Audible, so I don't have to read with my own eyes. And then it's a link to the podcast and /book.
Wow,
Enjoy the holidays.
damn.
Best wishes for 2023 or 2023, as a lot of people are saying it.
Wow,
And
that's
from
great.
Michael.
Michael,
appreciate
thank
that,
you very
Michael.
much,
So,
sincerely, and yeah,
I'll leave that one starred so that we all have the
Yeah.
link.
Yeah,
Sure. I wish I could get my therapist to come on the podcast. That'd be so fun.
for who?
Jessica.
For her?
Well, I'm just saying that's her name.
Oh, okay. That's just like. I do think that's a telling.
I know you
statement.
guys would all gang up on me. That's the only problem.
No,
like-
no, that is the most narcissistic statement I have heard in a long time.
It's par for the course.
I wish we could have my therapist on.
Yep.
Oh,
I
I'd
think
love to have
it
any-
would be a lot of fun on this 3-person podcast to have my therapist come on and talk about my problems.
No.
And then the immediate response after is like, you all would gang up on me. Holy shit. Let's see. Narcissism.
Believe you me, if we could get a fresh therapist and she's like, or he or whoever
They?
was like, I'm going to talk to everybody for like a
Yeah.
couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to come on. I mean, that would be amazing.
That's dangerous. Too. That's very dangerous.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
That's after like the second week of meeting with that therapist, and they come back and go, so I don't think I can be on the podcast later because my advice to 2 of you has been you need to stop doing the podcast. And I'm not saying which 2. Maybe it's the 2 of you.
You're like,
maybe it's us. Maybe it's us. Who's to know?
This email is subject line, Mr. Bean for Ray. Ray, I'm so happy Mr. Bean's Christmas special got some love. I just introduced it to my 5 and 8-year-old and they loved it. Also, a buddy of mine made a doc called I Am Santa Claus. Have any of you seen it?
Yeah.
Mike, the King of the Catskills. And then, we wrote back and said, is it the documentary with Mick Foley?
Mick Foley,
And
yeah.
I said, yes, it is. Bang, bang.
Thank you, Mike, so much. Quick apology for later saying Mr. Bean died. But yeah, no, that is
At
a
least
great
that one
special.
didn't come true, though.
Yeah. But that is a wonderful special. The not special. It's just an episode. It's just an episode
Yeah.
of Mr. Bean. It's
Yeah.
so good. So good.
It's so funny that his friend made I Am Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I'm listening to Mick Foley's new podcast, and he's talking all about that right now. I grew up loving Mick Foley. He's one of my favorite performers.
Yeah. This is from December 11th, subject line Christmas episode. It's from Richard. Gentlemen, I sit here with nothing but time on my hands. But it sounds like he's writing
in
from
jail?
prison.
Yeah.
I have had COVID for the last 6 days
Oh,
and
he
therefore
kind of is
have
in
not
jail.
only not left the house, but have barely left the couch.
He's in health jail.
Add that to the weird things COVID does to my sleep schedule, and this 3 a.m. email is the end result.
Yeah.
I, like Brad, am from the Midwest. It was stated that thick water chicken is a Midwest thing, and that's a no.
The Midwest is disowning you. The Midwest is pulling away.
Yes.
No, we don't do that. We do weird shit, but we don't do
That's
that.
the next line. Yes, we do weird shit in the Midwest. Yes, we do weird shit in the Midwest like pub-style pizza and put meat sauce on hot dogs and call them chili dogs. Skyline for life.
To be fair, Rhode Island
Also, yeah.
has and it's a weird meat sauce.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Oh, are you kidding me? It's the best.
It's weird. It looks like it's leftover. It looks like it's part of the leftovers of a process to make a food. Right? Like this is the
We'll talk off air. I want to know where you've been.
this is the flotsam and jetsam. You know what I mean? This is the cast off, right? But what is please refer to the pizza again. What is it called?
Pub style pizza.
What's pub style?
That's
what
when
makes
you
it
could
pub
mean
style?
a lot of different things.
No, I think it's like the kind that you got for me for Thanksgiving last year.
With the higher crust, not deep dish necessarily.
It's not deep dish. It's almost like you can make it in a regular oven. Does that sound right?
Well, you can make every pizza in an oven.
I think that's what they're talking about. I don't know. What I think of is extremely thin crust. It's kind of small and circular, and it looks a little burnt on the edges.
I wonder what a pub style.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
I'm not an authority.
Please send us what name again? Sorry,
Richard.
Richard, please send us some photographs of a pub style pizza so we can understand
in
what
your
it is.
estimation.
Yeah.
We usually eat flavor with our food, and thick water chicken is not that. I would love it if you guys did an episode a month or episode every few months where you guys dragged Brad to try something new, and we got the Planiac to review the new food.
Ooh, that would be a lot of fun. Of course, we will not get any I
know.
Nobody's going to cooperate with us to do it.
Well, one person's not going to. It could be as simple as Brad's getting a kebab with everything on it, and then he's like, "Oh my God, the red sauce actually tastes like this," and talks about it. You could call it Planiac Reviews. Thanks, Richard. P.S. If you want to try some great Midwest Christmas foods, try and then a recipe for hanky panky or big boy casserole, 2 separate recipes.
Or they used to call me that when I was going through puberty.
Or
Big
just
boy casserole.
Or just take some slices of salami. Slices of salami, put a smear of cream cheese in it, and roll it into a roll. These are all Midwest Christmas
That's
foods,
great.
not thick water chicken. Still love you, Brad. Then, as an addendum, Ray is right. Ralphie wins that fight. Kevin hits him with one trap, and Ralphie loses it and beats his ass. Ralphie beats Kevin hands down. This is now the weirdest email I've sent at almost 4 a.m.
Yeah, he's still in like a COVID fever, and he's thinking of cream cheese, stuffed salami, and 2 boys fighting.
I just looked it up. I put, what is pub style pizza? It says
Yeah.
the defining characteristic of that pizza is extremely thin crust.
Yeah.
The crust is noticeably thinner than the standard New York style pie, but slightly thicker than that of a Chicago style thin crust pizza and not as crackly. The bar pie crust is unique in that it's crispy and chewy at the same time.
Huh.
Yeah.
I know it sounds dumb. I read an article about different styles of pizza around the United States, about
Yeah.
New Haven style, New York style, Detroit style, St. Louis style, Cincinnati style.
Yeah.
And a lot of differences.
Well,
Yeah, so a lot of pizzas to try for
on
our-
my
our
old
pizza
podcast
tour.
with Ray and Derek,
Yep.
one of the last episodes we did was about hot dogs. It was called DTH, Down to Hot Dog.
Yeah, of course.
And because I had just been to Chicago.
Chuck once told a prostitute that I was down to hot dog.
Yeah.
That's
true.
True.
Oh, you were surfing at the time. You just wanted to stand on her shoulders.
I said to her, "What if I hid in the closet? Then once it gets started, I jump out and we both hot dog the heck out of you." Remember that?
He like did a Google chat
All right,
with
Oh, okay.
he
No,
was,
go ahead.
So, but I had had Chicago hot dogs.
Yeah.
Chicago hot dogs.
Chicago style hot dogs.
And I love.
I love Chicago house dogs. I love them.
Chicago dog is so good. No.
Too
Oh,
much.
there's too
Just
many things on it. There's too many flavors.
Too much going
happening.
on.
Yeah.
He doesn't like vegetables.
Yeah.
So
but no,
there's-
they're so
Not true.
good. And like,
Yeah,
good
they're
luck getting a sport pepper over here. Okay. You ain't gonna find those sport peppers
true.
in England.
What's a sport pepper?
That's on a Chicago dog.
What is it though?
I don't know. It's a pepper, and they call it a sport pepper. It's neon green, but they're delicious.
Pepperoncinis are close.
They're not the same though,
But
but they
they're
are close. They are close. Like if a pepperoncini had torrid affairs with okra,
Yeah.
it would be a sport pepper,
I see.
and that makes sense.
I see.
And I didn't say Oprah. I said
Oh,
okra.
yeah,
Oh, now I
yeah,
get.
yeah.
But no, I was doing shows at a club in Chicago,
Yeah.
and right next door was a hot dog joint.
Yeah.
That was like a late night spot
Yeah.
where it was like bulletproof glass that you order your dogs through.
Yes.
It's called Snappy Dogs. And it got to a point where, like, after the last show, I knew I was going to the hotel and I was flying back the next night.
Yep.
Like, I ordered my Snappy Dogs ahead of time.
Good.
While I was waiting for an Uber to take me to the hotel.
Yep.
And I got in the Uber with 3 Chicago-style hot dogs in a bag and immediately stunk the joint up, right? Like, it just reeked in there.
Yep.
And I'm holding this bag like a horny man, just like, I can't wait to get you back to my hotel room. Right? Like, I was so excited, but they're so good. And we talked about different styles of hot dogs through the country. So now with pizza, I think, step one, get this podcast to absolutely explode. Take off in a way where we are financially secure enough to tell each other how we really feel. You know what I mean?
That's not going to happen.
And then we go on a tour based solely on trying different regional pizzas and hot dogs.
All right, now I'm back on board.
I would love to do that.
Yeah. Wedges and dogs.
A couple of years ago, I wrote an article for Motif Magazine in Providence about the best clam chowder and clam cakes in Rhode Island, and I ate like 30 different restaurants, trying them all. Made me sick.
Yeah,
It was rough.
I ate at 2 of them, and it made me sick.
Yeah, that's a lot. It was creamy,
delicious.
creamy. Was this the day after the poutine experience?
So,
But no, I would love to do that. So, if you're watching / listening and you have some sort of hookup to allow us to tour the country trying pizzas and hot dogs, let us know. Or mail us a hot dog.
Yeah.
Put it in a box and mail us that dog.
yeah. Chuck's home address. This is from Stu. Stu the new Chubby.
Yeah.
Stu the fun bear from the start is how he described himself.
Because he
yeah.
he came into the Chuck and Brad
Yeah.
podcast, so he
Yeah.
was Stu the new Chubby, which is what we called our listeners.
Yeah, and he's the fun bear from the start.
Fun bear from the start.
His tattoo, he had to cross it out.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's so long now.
He's like, no, you know what? Just put AKA.
There's thoughts on the Christmas episode from Stu the Fun Bear from the Start. Gentlemen, excellent episode as always. Sorry I can't be at the live show, but looking forward to future Smodcastle cinema events. I was listening to the discussion about the PG and R versions of Jackass. Chuck's idea to make 2 versions of the next Jackass film, one PG-13, one R-rated.
For a Christmas one.
Of Jackass, and I think you all missed one analog. These days, there is precedent for 2 versions of a movie playing at the same theater at the same time. Regular version and 3D, or to be more in line with this discussion, triple D. So maybe if you added special glasses to see the R-rated content, va-va-voom, it would work. You guys are awesome.
I don't think
Stu.
anybody has ever seen a Jackass stunt and gone, va va boo. Ooh la la. Look at that zitty ass. Ooh, yeah. Just va va boom.
Come on, Vito. Give him a little va-va-boom.
Ooh la la.
We're going to do an all-band podcast, all 3 of us. Come on, Vito. Put on this Vito. Give him a little va-va-boom.
Don Vito's gonna do an ooh la la.
Ram's going to run into the Wawa and do a little va-va-boom.
Oh, that's fucking great. That's fucking great.
This is from Logan, year-end books read. With the year coming to an end, I'm looking at my year-end books on Goodreads, and with 109 books, I think I might be approaching Brad's number this year. Actually destroyed it, but that's fine.
Wow.
While we all know of Brad's reading
Brad,
proficiency,
You're an idiot.
I was curious if Ray was much of a reader. I know Chuck likes Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not necessarily to read about, just that he likes them. Anyways, I did have the thought that it would be fun to listen to Brad and Ray discuss something they both read, while Chuck derails the conversation because he feels left out for being too busy to read it. I fully understand that while this would be fun to listen to, it would be quite Funbearable to actually record. But actually, I'm just going to leave it at that great Funbearable line. Ouch, I think I tweaked my shoulder, patting myself on the back. Siri, send messages. I mean, okay, Google, send email. I'm sorry, Jeeves, please deliver the electronic mail.
I like this guy.
Yeah, me too. I will say he's pretty much gonna get his wish with the fun Bammies.
Yeah, because we cover books
we
and,
talk
and
tons of
reading.
books.
Yeah,
Tons of stuff.
in short, to summarize it, me read good, and me like word put together.
Yeah.
Many long word put together. Long word. Arbitrary amounts of words. My eye dexterity, my ocular dexterity is through the roof. Yeah. But no, I do love to read, and I do feel guilty because I don't get to read as much. And we talked about this in the thing because of my sleep habits.
Yeah.
I sleep in the woods.
Somebody emailed us through Funbearable, through the link tree.
Yeah, if you go to funbearablepod.com, not only does it have our new episode and our all of our links for finding us on every podcast app, but at the bottom it has all of our social stuff, and you can actually just email us through funbearablepod.com.
This is from Oscar. He said, "What up, guys? I just want to say you are my new favorite podcast. I genuinely laugh out loud."
Hey, thank you.
Which doesn't help when I'm in someone's yard cleaning. Just makes me look like a psychopath, but it's worth it. Keep killing it, guys.
Yeah,
I like that.
that's
I
good,
like
Oscar.
that.
I love it, buddy.
That's fun because you're probably creeping out the people that you're working
for? Yeah,
like
for
as
sure.
I'm assuming landscaping, gardening, something like that.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of like it reminds me of like a Ryan Johnson Knives Out moment.
Yeah.
Where like the rich people are looking out their window and they see the gardener just going and they're like, "Oh no, he knows where the bodies are."
I hope he has one
One bud?
skin-colored bud, and he's just like,
Yeah. But and then like saying one word. You know how people laugh and they'll repeat a line or something?
Yeah.
But like the words are horrifying to hear on the other end. He's just like piss. Right? It's like, oh no.
that's what I wish.
Oh.
That's great.
Did you do a background check on the landscaper?
Oscar.
Sport Pepper. I don't know why he's laughing. Like
It was an evil laugh.
yeah.
Another email from Stu said, "I found you a moped," and it was a link to a 1980 Suzuki FZ50.
If it's from 1980, I'm
It
gonna
said,
kill
"P.S.
that moped.
I love them too. Funbearable yours, Stu.
Oh, he loves mopeds too.
He loves mopeds too. Just
Damn.
like Ray, forbidden fruit.
Well, make some more room for another tattoo because we're starting a gang.
But I did want to say, Brad was so excited for the moped episode because Ray had texted us and he thought it just said moped. And he's like, finally, something
how
I'm
about
an
me?
expert at.
A chance to be a star, baby. Potential material. This is also from Matt Bonta from 3 days ago. So we're basically caught up.
Oh, okay,
Nice, great.
Although we did get a marketing email that
Just now, yeah, I saw it.
We should probably read all of it.
Manscaped was
for
like...
Manscaped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
I know.
interesting. Maybe we can get a sponsorship from Manscaped.
Matt said-
"What's yours look like?"
My manscaping
Yeah.
situation?
You know what's funny? Our
It looks like I
facial-
got a guy like Oscar working on it.
I know I referenced Gallagher earlier in this episode.
Your situation looks like a
young-
smashed watermelon.
Young Gallagher.
You know what? Carrot bottom for me.
Bill Cosby. Gray and tired. No. But it is funny asking that question, and all three of us have facial hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's roughly similar but different.
Oh, for
And I
sure.
think it's just like, drapes, carpet. You know what I mean?
I gotta look at a mirror.
Linoleum.
Oh, and also that one really long one that you just don't have the heart to cut.
I just want to see how long I can get. This is from Matt again.
Yeah.
Hey guys, still tuning in, still loving it. Just wanted to pass along a TV show I'd like to recommend. Think you guys could really deep dive on this. Paul T. Goldman on Peacock.
Yes.
I stumbled upon this when I opened up Peacock looking to watch something else. I hovered too long on the icon and got the trailer. I said, "What the hell?" and started to watch. Fantastic, crazy, bizarre. I can't even begin to really express all the feelings I went through watching this. Looks to be about 6 episodes. As of this writing, 5 episodes are available. Hope you're able to check it out. Thanks as always, Matt. And so like independent of that email, Ray had texted both of us and was like, "I'm watching this show. I can't explain," like very similarly phrased to the
Yeah.
point where like, are both of you working as marketers together?
Yeah.
I didn't write that email. But no, that show is so great.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
it is next on my list of shows.
And it's so hard to describe what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like saying, so it's a documentary about the guy who wrote a book about the experience and now has written a screenplay about it. So we are learning the light true crime, nobody died, light true crime
Right.
thing about what he went through. That's salacious.
Yeah.
But we're also learning more about this guy
Right.
and how much ego drives that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then the fact that he wrote the screenplay and now they're shooting the movie of the screenplay. So we
Yeah.
see and he's playing himself in the
Beautiful.
movie.
Yep.
So we get Jack Packard from Red Letter Media. He tweeted about it. That's how I found out about the show.
Okay.
I saw him tweet about it. I'm like, that sounds great. And the way he broke it down, he's like, it's a third true crime documentary,
Yeah.
a third behind the scenes of a film
Yeah.
documentary, and a third a movie so bad it's good, because that's what they're making.
Okay.
Like they are making the movie that's happening because it's the guy playing himself.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know he wrote these scenes.
Yeah.
The dialogue is absurd. The acting is terrible. The man's facial expressions are insane.
Yeah.
Right? Like his reaction of things of like, what? are crazy. So it's like Tommy Wiseau making The Room.
Yeah, Right. yeah.
And that's just 1/3 of this fucking show.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
All right.
I heard only good things.
Yeah, so it's fantastic. And what a great way to end the mail sack with like
Yep.
a really good recommendation.
Yeah.
The last episode comes out this week as we're recording.
Right.
And I can't wait for it. And even if it's a thing of just like, oh, okay, that's the end. Like there's no big reveal.
Right. Yeah.
It has still been so good, and I don't think you can recreate this because you
Okay.
need that person.
Yeah. Right.
Paul T. Goldman,
Yeah.
aka Paul T. Finkelman.
I will likely start it this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah. No,
Sweet.
that was
So possibly by the time this episode comes out, maybe I've already watched it, Matt. What do you think about that?
yeah. How do you what did you think of it?
Really, it was like American Animals, but amped up.
Oh, that's what I said in the text.
It sure is.
Yeah.
It sure is.
I like when a documentary like
stole my
pushes the
comments.
form. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
pushes
of
the
course,
form
of
it.
course.
It's great. But I think we did a good job with the mail sack.
I'm glad. I'm glad so many people are writing in, so people are
Yeah.
enjoying it. I notice. I mean, we get tons of comments on our YouTube and a lot of stuff on the clips we put up. If anyone ever wants to write in, funbearablepod@gmail.com or find the email link at funbearablepod.com.
And I don't
feel
think
free to write in.
Yeah, I don't think I can overstate how genuinely appreciative all three of us are.
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
To hear from people and know that what we're doing is enjoyed by people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And
that's
people,
really special.
people get some value out of it.
Yeah.
Whether it's relating to stuff that's tough or laughing like a maniac as you trim hedges.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's when I talked to Ray about starting the podcast, I said, if we can get the hedge trimmers going,
Yeah.
then we have got something.
That's the market. The market is the hedge trim.
I like.
Okay? If they got a weed whacker, we want them listening. That's what we say.
I'll say this: Oscar, like in my mind, he's not hired. He's just.
He just showed up.
He just showed
and
up.
That's why people are freaked out.
Yeah, like it's not that he's laughing at Funbearable.
Yeah, no,
it's the like. Did you hire a landscape?
Yeah, it's
I
like,
didn't hire
you
anyone.
just hear the weed whack
Yeah.
noise, and then somebody. Excuse me. What?
Peppers.
Everyone in the town just knows him as the weed whacker.
Yeah.
And
You
he
know,
just-
if you wear funny socks, you won't kill yourself.
but they gotta be humiliating.
They gotta be so humiliating.
Do you
Look
have
at mine.
Do you have funny
Jiggle,
socks?
jiggle, jiggle.
Yeah. Do you have funny socks on right now?
I killed John Benet Ramsey. Did she make those?
Oh my god. Oh no, he lifts up one sock and they're like, "What's John B?" And then he lifts up the other one and says,
Last thing, hear me out.
"Okay."
Please, and don't write off this idea. Funbearable branded anti-suicide socks. They're humiliating socks. So you can wear them so that you don't kill yourself that day. So we can do an I Killed John Benet Ramsey. We can do
Diarrhea Castle.
That's not embarrassing enough.
That's not embarrassing enough. I'm in support of Chris D'Elia. All these different
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
We can
Yeah.
make these socks.
We
Would
could
you do it?
We could.
I don't know. How about this? If you send in the request for those prints, sure.
I think we should do a Funbearable T-shirt first.
Anti-suicide
Okay, fine.
But
Well,
mention-
the T-shirt will say "Funbearable killed John Benet Ramsey."
Listen, guys.
She laughed so hard.
Okay, good news. Bad news. The two designs got mixed up.
Good news, they're selling like hotcakes.
Good news. It still kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's still. I mean, realistically, in spirit. I mean, you know the phrase "beating a dead horse." This is beating a dead child star. Now we're back to bad. We're back
I
to
think
bad.
the idea, like, if we were a huge podcast,
Yeah.
we could make anti-suicide socks and they'd be hilarious.
Sure, yeah.
But we're small, and so
I mean,
people
I
would
say
think-
this kind of thing all the time. I look at a tweet that I put out as a joke, and I'm like, if I had like 1 million followers, this would be exploding.
and you put it away.
Any day now.
Dear Dr. Elon Musk, please, please, please give me a blue check mark.
right,
But yeah, we really do appreciate you, and we're sorry
Yes.
about that jumpination at the end. But you said it, I'm like, I want to play here.
Oh yeah.
I'm okay playing elsewhere.
No, you got to stay, Brad. You got to stay.
boy.
Brad somewhere else. And oh, they do look like they're having fun.
I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna go too hard with it. I'm gonna kick the ball over the fence.
And that's how she
Guys,
died.
look what I'm doing with her body. Brad, no.
So no, he marionetted her.
So if you want to write into the
Where'd
podcast,
you get that? We were just making comments.
Ticka-tacka, 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 tacka.
The
If
grave
you
is
wanna
open to the
write it-
public.
happy to hear from you. Funbearablepod@gmail.com or through any of the socials or through the link at funbearablepod.com.
Hold on.
I know.
Cease and desist from Jeff Dunham.
A Jeff oh my God. Now I just want to see a list of all of the puppets that he turned down, right? Like, ooh, first idea. No, bad.
All right.
The cast-offs of Jeff Dunham.
Yes, with that was a fun episode.
We are the island of rejected puppets.
It's good stuff. We started Witches with Dicks.
Yeah, yeah.
We then got to a very serious topic.
Yeah.
And we're ending with this.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
We're ending
And I want to ride.
with
Yeah.
Brad Rohr
No.
digging up the corpse
No, we're
of
not.
John Benet
No,
Ramsey
we are
to
certainly
turn
not.
into a puppet to have fun with.
No, first of all,
Bradley
nobody knows where that corpse
Aaron
is.
Rohr.
Secondly, don't
Wait,
give
nobody
up.
knows
What's your
where the
address?
corpse is? She didn't disappear.
I thought she disappeared.
No, they've definitely found the body.
Are you sure?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Maybe
really know
I'm
about
thinking
the
of a
case.
different murder.
Oh, is it real?
All right, folks. Thank you all
I
so
thought it
much
was like Batman or
for
something.
joining us.
Oh God, I feel so guilty.
Oh no!
For-
That's a real thing.
For Ray Harrington and Chuck Staten, I am Brad Rohr, and we're so sorry for being
I thought Jean
Funbearable.
Benet was like a Kathy comic strip. Ah!
No, that's how it was.
And they were right. You'll never find a man because they didn't find a killer.